Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the week of August 18th. It is me, Kirsten, and this is It's Giving Mystical. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're enjoying this midpoint in August. I hope the Hermit Week treated you well. I feel that was a really powerful moment, and I hope that some part of you felt this beautiful dance that we're doing with the unknown all of the time. It just might have come home in a way that was more clear this week, and I wonder what that was like for you. I'm always wondering what it's like for you guys out there. I have this feeling, this like net, this web that I feel when I record this of all the people that are part of the work that we're doing together, even by just listening and dialoguing and staying curious. So I wonder what it was like for you, and I would love to hear more about it. This week, the card I pulled is the Star. It's such an interesting thing to follow the Hermit, to go from the Hermit to the Star energy. The Star energy is, without a doubt, the most healing, the most nurturing, the most nourishing, the most rejuvenating card in the deck. It comes in the major arcana after the Tower. The Tower, for those of you who know or don't know, is a very powerful transformation, and it can feel good, or it can feel disorienting, or it can feel destabilizing, but it is always a major change, and the reward for surviving that Tower moment is the Star. The Star is, I kind of think, one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. It does remind me of the Strength card because there's this real gentleness and beauty and grace that comes off of it in waves. It is a woman, or it looks like a woman, with her foot in a pool, and she's pouring water between both the pool and the ground, and above her head is a beautiful star, and she's naked like a baby, but so beautiful and free out in the world. Very, very protected. Again, this is the card of deep, deep healing. So when the Star card comes, you really want to consider the wash, the water, the environment with which you are moving through. So really imagining that you are someone that is dear and precious to you. You are someone that works very hard and has been through a lot. And how would you care for that being? I think this came up a couple weeks ago. This idea of if the person you loved most in the world showed up at your door, knocking on your door, and you opened it and saw them, and they were as beautiful as always, but a little bit bedraggled, like they had been through it. They had been through it on every possible level. And they said to you, "Help me." They said to you, "Help me." What would you do? How would you embrace them? How would you care for them with such tenderness? How would you nurse them back to their strength, their vitality, their fullness? Do that for you this week. Bring that energy to you this week. The other thing that comes up with the Star, which is a little bit of an unusual thing to say, but it's something that really has worked with me and been with me over the past, I think, 4 or 5 years in particular. The Star energy is a direct line, a direct connection to our male lineage, to the male ancestors. And the same way that the moon, for me in my experience of working with the cards, the moon has revealed itself to me to be this experience of our feminine lineage, our feminine ancestors, and the stars are masculine ancestors. And if you've done work, especially women's work or work in self-development, we spend a lot of time talking about our mothers and our daughters and the female lineage, the line. There's something to be understood about the way that our masculine ancestors hold us. It's different. It's different. There's something about the Star energy that is directing you to understand how held you are, how cherished you are, how precious you are. The ideal of a father's love is this all-accepting, full presence with your radiance, full presence with your light, full presence with your vulnerability and your tenderness, that you are a precious thing to be protected and adored and taken care of. In their best expression, the masculine ancestors are doing that. If you hear me say that and your reaction is a contraction, if you feel in yourself there is something unsafe about the male ancestors or the male members of your family or the male masculine lineage in your family, in your body, in your field, then this is a week where there's possibility for transformation around that. It can be complicated. It can be complicated for sure. And the same way that our relationships with our mothers can be complicated. But there is something about finding in your field a safe male ancestor. So maybe it's not someone living. Maybe your experience with men or the men who are charged with taking care of you has not been a safe one, and that's okay. And obviously you know what you need to do around that, and if you don't, please ask for help, because there's always possibility to transform that. Always, always, always. But somewhere in your lineage there is a safe masculine energy, and It doesn't have to be someone you know. It doesn't have to be someone's name you know. It can hold a kind of divinity. But it's an interesting inquiry to look around and say, who are the safe men in my world? Who are the safe masculine energies in my world? Again, when I was studying Tantra, there was this basic premise of masculine energy is the structure. It's the container. You can think about things as basic as the floor that your feet sit on, the walls. Like I'm sitting here in my office, my lovely office, and it is pouring rain outside. And I am sitting here, and these walls and these windows and this roof are keeping me safe. They are the container in which I can make my art, my conversation, my music. That is something to be leaned on. So I can, even in this moment, and you can do it with me in this moment, feel the chair that supports you, or the couch, or the bed, or the car. Feel the fact that it's holding you. It's asking nothing of you, right? It's asking nothing of you. Your presence is welcome here. It takes you with perfect equanimity and patience and presence. You can put your hands on the walls, you can put your hands on the windows, and you can feel that and push against it and test it. Container, can I trust you? Are you safe? These are very basic things, but it matters. It matters to start to, it's one of the, I believe, one of the important things that needs to happen in terms of us reconciling and coming back into resolution with our divine masculine and our divine feminine, and therefore the divine and masculine health and possibility in the world, is to begin to play with this. So if the masculine is something I haven't been able to trust, if men are something I haven't been able to trust, what can I trust in this moment? What can I trust in this moment? Breath is one. The reception and the exhalation of your breath is a gift from the air energy, from the world, from the divine. Can I be with that? Can that be enough? Can I trust that? Can I trust the floor that my feet stand on? Can I trust the chair that I sit in? Start there. And what you'll notice is that the more that you open to the awareness of the ways in which you already are held, in which you are already safe, the universe shows you more of that. The universe shows you more possibility around that. Your body is the container. Where can you feel safe in your body? So these are things that come through as we begin to feel into star energy as this container in which we are allowed to breathe. We are allowed to be free. We are allowed to heal ourselves. We are allowed to rest. And I think about that hermit energy we were just talking about coming to the edge, coming up to the edge and everything unfurling before you as the unknown. Talked about was kind of that pausing in that, staying in that, filling yourself in that. For the star energy to come in following that in this next week is like stay there and rest. Stay there and heal. Stay there and replenish. It's really beautiful. It's an interesting link between that and the hermit. Feels like really grace. That's the energy that I feel in my body. This like deep grace of, yeah, life is hard and we struggle. And then there are moments where we can breathe. And it came up in that 10 of Pentacles week a couple weeks ago, right? Like there are moments where we can look around and be like, I've worked hard for this and I am satisfied. With the star energy, I've worked hard and I can rest. I have been through many things. I have like walked through the woods and now I can rest. There's something about taking an awareness of a stock of where you are safe and then sitting in it, resting in it, and getting curious as to where else can I feel safe? How else can I feel safe? When I was very little, I lived with my grandparents, and my grandfather and my great-grandfather were my primary caretakers. I spent a lot of time around a lot of men. So I had my grandfather, my great-grandfather, both my uncles. Actually, my Uncle Chuck was there too, so I had both my uncles there. And then I had all of their friends. And these guys were Long Island, New York, boxers and bus drivers and plumbers and contractors. And I was with them, and I remember they would come home for lunch. My Uncle Raymond, he would pull up. He would literally park the city bus, the town bus, outside my grandfather's house and come have lunch. And we would sit around. There was always a full table at lunchtime. My grandmother was at work and my aunt was out. And it was always me and all of these men. And we would always have these like lunches. Like my grandfather would cook. He made an incredible marinara. Or they would bring home bags of White Castle or bags of Taco Bell, and we would sit around the table and they would kind of shoot the shit and I would hang out and they would tease me. And it was I think it was unusual in how safe and happy I was in that home. Those are such happy memories for me, and they're some of my first memories. And when I first started doing hypnosis work, actually, so a long, long time ago, they were the people I saw when I was asking about healing some very deep wounds in my heart. And what they said to me was, we're here. And there was this, like, my uncle used to put me on top of the refrigerator. It must have been a tiny, but I was tiny. I was like maybe 3 years old. And he was so tall, and he would put me up on top of the refrigerator. And then they would tease me and be like, you're stuck up there. But they were all there to catch me, like I was never unsafe. When I first started studying hypnosis, that image showed up to me over and over again. Like, there was this sense of, like, you cannot fall. We're always here to catch you. We will never let you fall. And then as that transitioned into my shamanic work, I spent a lot of time visiting with my grandfather, both my grandfathers and my great-grandfather. And one of the most beautiful experiences I had visiting the ancestors was when my grandfather said to me, women don't understand the energy and the power they have for men, and the pleasure that they bring men just by moving through space. And he said, don't forget. He goes, you get confused. He goes, you think that you're the sailor. He goes, but baby, you are the sea. And that has really stayed with me, this idea of, it's not to navigate, it's not to pick the right course, it's not to tie the right knots, it's just to be the sea. All of this comes through. I just share all this with you because for me that has been one of the ways that I've worked with the star card. When I pull the star card, for me, those ancestors, those men that care for me and have cared for me in my life and have cared for me in my spiritual journey and in my spiritual time, are right there with me. I want to offer that to you, and I hope that you have a story to tell along those lines. But if you don't, then I offer it to you as a window, as a mirror into the possibility. And it can be a prayer, it can be a request into the dream space, it can be a request in meditation. Show me the men that are safe in my world. You would be surprised. There's another mantra that I've done when I was doing more tantric work, and I was working with this idea of the masculine energy, and it was kind of prayer, this exclamation of, there are so many good men in my life. I am surrounded by so many good men. At the time, I wasn't feeling particularly surrounded by good men, and I watched as my world changed, and all of these people just started showing up for me in these really lovely, simple ways where I started to realize there are just really good men in the world. And sometimes we get into this polarization of men versus women. And the star card is, again, this invitation that says, there is good in the world. There are people who want to keep you safe. There are people that want to create a safe space for you to rest and replenish and just shine your light. So the star card can be interpreted in so many ways, but at its heart it is this moment, this space of deep healing. And I would just draw on you to somehow become aware of what needs to be healed in your own awareness of and expression of masculine energy, and ideally how that lives in men that you love, in men that have loved you. There's something deeply healing about that. So all that to say, the star card is coming to you to offer you a respite, to offer you a moment of healing and peace and spaciousness. And please take it. Please take it. Allow yourself to be more held in whatever that means to you. Allow yourself to reach out to the places that are safe, the people that are safe, the containers that are safe. There's a brilliant technique that I use in meditation that allows you to feel the earth hold you, and specifically to feel gravity's pull on you. One of the cues that I love, that actually came from a friend of mine, Stephanie, but she said that you can notice how you are holding yourself. Just notice it right now. Notice how you are gripping or holding yourself. And see if you can, with generosity, give more of your weight to the chair, to the seat that you're in, to the earth. And notice how the earth says yes. Notice how gravity says yes. That is the masculine. That is the container. That is the willingness to say yes to feeling more safe in the world. So I offer that to you. I hope it's helpful. I offer you the star card again, like last week when I told you to take the hermit card out and look at it. Look at the star card this week. See what it says to you. See what it speaks to. See what replenishment it's offering you, because that's really what it's offering you. You are deserving of rest. You are deserving of love. You are deserving of being deeply, deeply cherished by every person in your world and every environment that you walk into. And the star will just be a deeper reminder of that this week. I hope that is helpful. I send you so much love, and I just wash you in starlight. I wash you in starlight. I wash me in starlight too. I let all of the good that comes from the heavens, that comes from our ancestors, wash down over us now. And may we carry that with us in the week ahead. So much love. Big hugs. Happy summer. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.